Unfortunately, last week our free plays did not hit. But you savvy sports investors that are with us on the premium picks scored a solid 6-0. And we hit with another premium pick on Tuesday night, nailing the UTEP +7 wager. Don't miss out anymore. Join in for only a $21 investment. Go to mjpicks.com to sign up and start winning with us. Alright, let's get it going with our free picks for week 8 of college football. And by the way, the first one turns out to be one of my premium NCAA football picks for the upcoming weekend. Pick number 1 takes us to Austin, Texas, where the number 1 Longhorns will take on the number 5 Georgia Bulldogs. Our second top 5 matchup in as many weeks, and the third this year. It's almost like the rankings are mysteriously somehow coordinated with games on TV. This one will be another great heavyweight fight that I cannot wait to watch. The current line has Georgia as the underdog. When is the last time we heard that statement? The dogs are dogs in this game by 5 points to the top-rated Texas Longhorns, and the total sits at 55.5 or 56.5. Both teams had their offenses in gear last weekend. Texas notched 34 points and Georgia put up 41. With all the throwing Georgia was doing, 48 pass attempts with 459 passing yards, it's hard not to think they were attempting to put naysayers to rest, that they were not a powerful offense. Meanwhile, Texas manhandled Oklahoma and could have easily scored more if they wanted to. Now it is time for these two juggernauts to square off. Two probable NFL quarterbacks going head-to-head in Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck. Looking at the model, it kept giving me scores like 33-30, 34-27, big scores. That raised my eyebrow, since these are both top 5 teams. Why are they giving up so many points? These are top defenses. What could I have done wrong? So I researched into some recent top 5 versus top 5 matchups, and I noticed an overwhelming trend. Looking back at the last 10 times that a top 5 team has played another top 5 opponent, the average number of points in the game has been 64. Maybe I'm not crazy after all. This probably fits into the contrarian category, since most people will see this as elite defenses bumping heads. I'm going the other way and expecting fireworks. I'm looking for both offenses to go nuts. So give me over 55.5 points in the Georgia versus Texas matchup. Again, let me remind you that it represents one of my premium betting tips of the weekend. After this quick break, let's dive into a second pick. The second game fits under the same principle of being a game between highly rated teams. While they are not top 5 teams, they would have been if they both did not lose a game they were not supposed to. They are number 7 Alabama at number 11 Tennessee. I also like this over at 56.5 points. That's free pick number 2. However, my confidence level is not as high since it did not make the cut among my premium plays. It's the same big game analysis that both teams will come out firing. The difference for this one is neither of these two teams has been playing like an elite defense recently. The secondary problems for Alabama are well documented. So I think Tennessee coach Josh Heupel will have some things ready to dial up some explosive plays to take advantage of the breakdowns in communication the cornerbacks have been having. I also think this will be another Jalen Milroe game where they will run him and let him baffle the Volunteers. I think both teams will come strong, so I consider the first half over, but could only find 28.5. I would pull it on 27.5 if I find it. I think going into halftime 14-14 is a real possibility. I'm hoping for more scoring than that, which is why I'm looking at the full game. This is probably an elimination game for the loser since their prior loss is a bad one. So I think the pedal will be on the gas. Both teams will want to punch and counter-punch. So give me a lot of points and the over 56.5 points in the Alabama-Tennessee matchup. Let's bring you more picks after this short break. If you have not already, please smash the thumbs up button so we can continue to reach college football fans like yourself. And subscribe to the channel to get content like this one on all sports. Now for the upset of the week. If you've been following, you know we've hit several weeks with our upsets. Last week it was Cincinnati at plus 140 odds. Cincy is a favorite this week however, but I like them again. This week was a little harder to find one that jumped at me. There are several home dogs, which is always an eye grabber. Louisville at plus 170 at home versus Miami. Northwestern plus 260 hosting Wisconsin. Tennessee plus 130 versus Alabama. Arkansas plus 120 hosting LSU. And Illinois plus 150 at home versus Michigan. Those all made me pause. I might pick a few of those, they are all possible. But the one I'm going with is, well, not as exciting as those, but I like it. I'm going with Old Dominion at plus 300 hosting Texas State. It's homecoming for the Monarchs and they come off a hard-fought win on the road at Georgia State. They showed me some real toughness as quarterback Colton Joseph shined and his confidence is soaring. Meanwhile, Texas State had a snooze fest mopping up Arkansas State last week, so they are ripe to get their bell rung. Interesting note this week, I could not help but say something about it. Scanning the totals, this one caught my eye for sure. New Mexico and Utah State, 78 points. What? I'm not sure we've seen a line this high in a while. It's almost worth a play on the under just because. That's definitely worth pulling the trigger in my opinion. Next week, I will be bringing in my good buddy Stu to help with college football as we expand the Professor MJ universe. He's a master of college football predictions. It will be a great pleasure to get him on the show. Until then, a final reminder to sign up at mjpicks.com to receive in your mailbox all of the premium college football picks. So far this year, we own a 22-15 record, a 59.5% success rate. If you want to grow your bankroll even more, you could opt to gain access to the betting tips across all sports. These days, that includes betting the NHL, the MLB playoffs, and I have begun some occasional NBA preseason picks. Since October 7, the picks across all sports have posted a 32-15 record. The investment required is just $35 for a full week, but you will be glad you made this investment. Join us at mjpicks.com and start feeling like a winning bettor who's crushing his bookies.